like about Pete, look at Frank, is that in a weird way, he looks elegant. First of all, you got this. You look so elegant, but yet the shirt's not tucked in. So you're cool and casual, yet you look political and dapper.
Well, I didn't have time to tuck it in.
Okay.
They run me right up here.
You know he's one of a kind anyway, so.
He is one of a kind.
He really is.
Frank.
So I love you.
What about this guy?
So listen, when we put you guys together last year, A-Rod, you guys, Kevin Burkhardt. Now, everybody knows Kevin's just a regular dude. And then you got stars, and you got 4,256 hits, and big hurt. And then you got A-Rod. And it all, like, came together on the air. We threw all this stuff together. Are you surprised that it was so funny and so good on the air?
I'm not, because backstage we all got along good. And we all understand the game. And Kevin's a great host.
Great guy. Oh.
And A-Rod is wants to be so perfect.
Yes.
You know, he's the note guy.
Note guy.
He's always taking notes. We used to go on the air, and he'd have a stack of notes, a half an inch, and we got a 20-minute show. I said, A-Rod, they're going to ask you 2 questions. I got to be prepared. I
But it was fun, wasn't it, Frank? Because there was a lot of historical success amongst the three of us.
Right.
A lot of baseball to talk. And we have great chemistry.
Oh, it's just incredible. So last year is magical. Like not all seasons. I mean, there have been years the Florida Marlins win, an hour later they break up. Last year was magical. Yeah. When my sister calls me about sports, I know it's magical.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my God, what do you make of the Cubs?" Here's the thing: is that you were in that city, you know the Cubs well. Okay, Pete, you played in the Big Red Machine. And when you finally break through, you and Johnny, Perez, okay, now it's different. Now you guys getting paid. Start with you, Pete. What is the pressure now that you're the champs, and now the expectation is, oh, you should win it?
Well, we failed in 70, we failed in 72, and we lost to the Mets in 73 in a real great playoff. Then we finally won in 75. But you know, I always thought that there's 2 pressure situations in baseball. One is a hitting streak, because you got to get a hit every night.
Yeah. And
the other is not the World Series, the playoffs, because you're playing in front of people you played in front of all year against guys you played against all summer. And it's just like Sparky used to have a rule that no wives or girlfriends to the playoffs, but if you win the playoffs, everybody can go to the World Series.
Because it's almost like a reward.
Yeah, it's an award. You're absolutely correct. So I never looked at the World Series as a pressure situation like that. You want to win it, sure. And once you do win it, like I did in 75, Frank, it's a feeling that you won every year. I mean, it's a feeling that you can't describe, holding that trophy up for the first time, whether it's a Super Bowl trophy or a Stanley Cup trophy or an NBA championship. I mean, once you get that award, it's the top of the world.
Frank, you won it in 2005.
Right.
What was the off season like? Take us to what the Cubs are going through. Your winter 2005.
Well, the banquet circuit. It happens to everyone. Everyone wants you there. They want you here presenting this.
We can tell you did that banquet circuit.
Yeah, you know that. Leave it alone. Let's not go there yet. But, I just worried about them mentally being fatigued. That's the only thing I worry about the Cubs this year. They've been dynamite for the last 2 straight seasons, and they're about to turn it up again, and they're the humped at this time.
Well, yeah, because you end up playing about 25 high-pressure games. Your pitchers all throw more. We've seen throughout baseball that sometimes a pitching staff, the year after a long playoff run, there's arm fatigue.
Right.
So did you at all in the offseason rest a little, knowing that I just played 25 more pressure games?
Well, for me, I didn't have that problem because I was released, and I had to go to Oakland the next year. But for this Cubs team, they're young, they're dynamic. They could be on one historical run. But the only thing I told Pete earlier today, I worry about them being fatigued from all the partying, all the hanging out. Emotionally, physically, everything is draining when you're on top of the world and everyone wants a piece of you.
Emotionally more than anything, Frank, because to be honest with you, they shouldn't have won that World Series. You got a team that's up on them 3 games and won with 2 home games left, Cleveland, and they didn't beat them. I mean, the Cubs had to feel just overjoyed that they won that World Series.
They're a young team.
They're a young team, no question about it. But winning that last year will help them this year. I don't know about the fatigue. When I got through with a baseball season, I didn't pick up a baseball until spring training.
You didn't pick a baseball up?
No. Why am I going to take batting practice in November and then lay off in December, or take in December and lay off in January? What'd you do? Played basketball. Stayed in shape. I didn't get out of shape, but I didn't worry about playing baseball unless I played winter ball. Once baseball season's over, Colin, you just forget it until next year. I mean, it doesn't help you once baseball season's over to take batting practice in October and November if you didn't play in the World Series. You got to wait till spring training to start, because the hardest thing about spring training to me, Frank, was getting the calluses on my hands without missing any batting practice. You know, you got to get the calluses on your hands with the pine tar and the rosin and things like that, but you can't start out and get blisters, and you can't take batting practice because you can't hold the bat.
But it's a different world now, though. I mean, the training programs in the offseason are totally different. They make the guys
But they're
work now.
they're not playing ball, though.
Well, some of the guys are hitting all year now. I mean, they come to spring training now ready to go. We came to spring training to get in shape.
Well, I would recommend coming to spring training ready to go if you're trying to make the team.
So but you didn't have to worry about that.
No. See, look at this. I didn't worry about if I was in shape March 7th, if the season was April 7th, opening day. I had to be in shape April the 7th, okay? And I think if you get in shape too soon as a veteran player in spring training, you lose the edge of working hard.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You could a human being can baseball season's a 7-month grind.
Yes, it is.
Like, it's hard. Like, I've always said this about baseball players. You know, these NBA guys want games off. And I'm always like, I understood back in the 70s when in the National League, Pittsburgh had carpet, Philadelphia had carpet, Cincinnati had carpet,
Montreal.
St. Louis had carpet. You were playing on 100. Steve Garvey once told me in the National League that his shoes got stuck to the turf. Like, I totally get baseball guys over 162 just saying, I need a Tuesday off. What do you make of NBA guys, Frank? What do you guys make of NBA guys sitting?
I just think it's a different world now. I think it's a problem, but who's going to tell LeBron James he doesn't need a day off? I mean, I know the world wants to see him play, but this guy's about championships now. I think he's in a different class than everyone else. I think the rules should apply to certain players a little differently than the other guys.
Yeah, like by the way, the rules were different for Michael Jordan.
Yes.
I used to say, listen, let's have a Ouija board at the clubhouse, okay? And if Frank Thomas comes in on Tuesday and he don't want to play, he don't play, but he don't get paid. See how many days guys would take off. See how many guys.
Now, George Brett, I went and looked this up. George Brett took some time off.
Listen, I signed a free agent contract when I was 38 years old to go to the Philadelphia Phillies. The first 4 years of that contract, I did not miss a game. And I've had 2 years that I played in 163 because we had a tie game. You know, but don't forget the difference then and today, as far as I'm concerned, we had 1 year contracts.
Right.
And what I did in 72, I got paid for in 73. If I got a multi-year contract, $15 million a year for 10 years, I don't give a damn if I play every game.
Yeah.
Why would I?
It's a different world, Pete.
It is a different world.
That's what you're saying now.
It's all about this. You know that.
I know it's about the cash. Okay, what is the one story this year beyond the Cubs, Frank? Is there one you're really, truly interested in? The Yankees have a bunch of good young players. I still think the Yankees don't have any starting pitching, though.
I think the one problem the Cubs going to have is replacing Dexter Fowler at the top of the lineup. He's their catalyst, and now they're talking Kyle Schwarber leading off. This guy's a 40 home run guy, 100 RBI guy, and you're trying to lead him off after a knee injury? I'm worried about that.
What about you?
Well, the big story, I think, is A-Rod's going out with J-Lo. Okay? And I told A-Rod down at the meeting, I said, that is a damn merger.
It's going to be a long day on this show.
Oh, man.
Okay, tonight, 10 Eastern, FS1. It's Pete, it's Frank, it's A-Rod, it's Kevin Burkhardt. You guys are welcome anytime. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks,
man.
Colin.
You're the man.
In LA, it's the Herd.